Well, a very good evening to you, Vuyo.
Well, the day, it would seem, went smoothly, and the fears came to naught.
Oh, well, absolutely, Vuyo. I tell you, everybody was surprised in this area. As you rightly put it, there were 2 tents that were torched here overnight when SABC News was present. We witnessed that happening. So by morning, there was really a fear that many people would not come out here to cast their ballots. But I tell you, when we arrived here to do our first live crossings for the SABC's morning shows, I tell you, many people had already started coming through to the voting stations to come in queue. There had been a slight disappointment in the beginning because one of the areas where the people came to was at this very location where one of the tents was torched. But as you can see, that is the tent that was set up by the IEC as early as 6:30 to allow voting to get underway. There was a slight delay though. Voting here got underway at about 7:15, but certainly the residents didn't mind and were very pleased with the speedy response of the IEC to get the tents up and running and for voting to get underway as well. As you can see here behind me as well, the voting station has closed, and so have the others here in Bekkersdal. Police as well are leaving nothing to chance, standing there at the entrance, waiting for the counting to finish.
Now, Chrisella, do we have any idea what went into this process? In other words, what allowed the people of Bekkersdal to be able to vote at the end of the day? In other words, were there behind-the-scenes negotiations trying to pacify the community there? Do we know what actually happened?
Well, certainly we do know, Vuyo. We know that there's been several interventions from the South African Police Service as well as the Army coming together with the community to say to them, can they just allow everybody to go to the polls? Let everybody exercise their right to vote. And the issues concerning Bekkersdal relating to service delivery that were as a result of so many of the violent service delivery protests that we saw over the past few months, that should all be put on hold until after the elections. We also saw the African National Congress come in here quite vigorously to assure the public that their problems will be attended to even after the election. You would know as well that a government has also intervened in the issues relating to service delivery here, and some of the allegations of corruption that were made by the residents in this area against the municipality are now being investigated by the Auditor General. So that's a sort of really quelled what could have been a very difficult situation here in Bekkersdal. Now you'd ask yourself, then why was there that action last night? Why did those tents go up in smoke? There had been a bit of dissatisfaction regarding the presence of the Army. It seemed like some of the residents felt intimidated that the Army was in the area. They didn't understand why the Army needed to be in this space. But as I've been indicating all along, that this had been classified by police as a high-risk area. So the police and the Army were absolutely taking no chances with regard to ensuring that this election does go ahead quite smoothly. You will recall what happened as well during the registration period. Many people could not come out here to register, so they were not going to take those chances anymore.
Lastly, and very briefly, Chriselda, would I be wrong if I say these were well-meaning people who were disappointed on many fronts and who were taking the opportunity to, knowing that there's an election around the corner, taking that opportunity to actually raise their concerns? Otherwise, they didn't mean to sabotage this election at all. Would I be wrong if I said that?
Well, Vuyo, many of the people here, this is the sense that I'm now getting, is that many people here in Bekkersdal really wanted to go out and vote. I tested the process myself. I came and I voted in Bekkersdal. Here you have it. So the process was absolutely smooth. Many of the people joined in the lines to come and vote, but they had been scared over what was taking place over the past couple of months, and of course angered by what they say is lack of service delivery in this area, which is quite evident. Even the ANC itself has said they think a lot more can be done for the people of Bekkersdal, but they certainly went out to take the opportunity to exercise their right to vote. They say they're hoping that that X will be able to bring change here in Bekkersdal. Whoever is going to take over here in Bekkersdal, or whoever will continue here in Bekkersdal, will really make a meaningful contribution. And they say they're hoping the action that they took to the streets will send a clear message that they're not going to tolerate non-service delivery, and that all they want is delivery in this area, and that's the reason why they came to these polls.
Thanks very much, Griselda Lewis, in Bekkersdal, where it was feared initially that in an election, a peaceful election wouldn't take place. Well, as she has just told us, everything went